For my Term 2 English Extension Assessment, I have chosen to do Call of Cthulhu by H.P. Lovecraft, originally made in 1926. For the multimodal part of my assessment, I have chosen to do Call of Cthulhu, the role-playing game. This is the starter set with my two players, Heath Kelly Clark and Jackson Vickers.
Hello. I'm playing Heinrich Wolfgang Heinz. He's a veteran of the World War One. His description is he's 25, but he's already graying. He's pretty drunk. He's a drunk. That's his trait. He's an alcoholic. Functioning. Well, we'll see. He wears general suit-ish, but it's kind of roughed up in places. He's not the cleanest of folk. Nor is he the richest of folk.
I'm playing Lewis Rosso. She has an athletic physique. She has a stylish bob, dark brown hair, and dresses pretty swag.
I will be playing, because our good friend Jack Martin is currently far too sick to be able to make it to this. I will be playing Wentworth Avebury. Slightly worn suit, a moustache, monocle, rather than spectacles when examining text. He is inquisitive and takes a meticulous approach to investigation. In addition to this, I will be playing the storyteller. My goal is to create the world that these two can interact and play in. They will be facing monsters from the Cthulhu mythos. The thing I found most challenging about this element of my assessment was creating an interesting story that wasn't something that they've seen before and was different. I play Dungeons and Dragons with them. I fulfill a similar role in that game as I do in this session, and I wanted it not to feel like Dungeons and Dragons. I wanted it to feel like Lovecraft, feel like they were a part of the Cthulhu mythos, as my second academic text discusses. It was an interesting challenge, one that I think I succeeded partially. I could have done better. The handouts that were there, as you can probably see now, were okay at best. They came with the module, and for that I'm thankful, I suppose. But I also felt partially disenfranchised, like I wasn't really doing it. If I were to do this again in the future, 1, I'd come a lot more prepared, and 2, I'd also have my players be a lot more prepared. Because whilst we had a lot of fun with the characters, there was a very clear imbalance between Jackson and Heath. Heath having prepared a character himself, with a different backstory than the ones in the module, and Jackson using a pre-generated character in the module. It did not lessen the experience, but it could have improved it. Enjoy the ending segment that will be coming up within a few seconds. As we reach the end of a session of Call of Cthulhu, here is a brief little end summary. Heath's character, Heimlich, is dead. Briefly reanimated by powers from beyond, and then killed in a suicide attempt, not even attempt, by Wentworth, who was also being controlled by Heath. Just want to die. Lois is currently insane, suffering from severe PTSD and schizophrenia after the horrific encounter, seeing the true form for several minutes of this entity as it tried to persuade her to let it free. For the next year and a half of her life, she will suffer from this. Afterwards, maybe she will recover. Maybe she never will. But the evil has been banished permanently, allowing the original patron of this adventure's son to be given a brief bit of rest from the sanity that this creature was imparting on his bloodline. Altogether, as far as Call of Cthulhu goes, that went pretty well.
That's Call of Cthulhu, baby.